take over. He's a chef. This excerpt takes place after their first night together. So it's the morning after scene. I was supposed to read a different excerpt, but then I realized we're in public. So if you want to look at that excerpt, just check out chapter 4. Yun na lang. Olivia padded out the room, grabbing a loose t-shirt along the way. She had no idea if their new, barely there, and yet to be defined relationship will stand the stark brightness of daylight. But she took it as a good sign that it was already morning and Nate was still there. Morning, she smiled shyly, sauntering up to the island counter-style breakfast nook in the kitchen. Nate had been busy, it seemed, judging by the plate of bacon, eggs, freshly brewed coffee, and some kind of French toast he was assembling. Seeing him again, and at the scene of the crime even, brought a splash of color to her cheeks. I hope you don't mind that I raided your pantry, he said, flipping the French toast. No worries, although I don't remember still having any bread left, she wondered out aloud. I stepped out to grab some. Remember that Belgian bread guy I introduced you to at the market? I remembered he lives 4 buildings down. I raided his place for some brioche, she explained, waving the loaf near her nose. You can smell just how buttery it is, right? Mm-hmm, she agreed. Everything looked and smelled wonderful. What are you cooking anyway? The best French toast you will ever try, he announced. Bacon and cheese sandwiched in brioche and dipped in eggs, milk, and butter. Cooked in more butter. Butter is our friend after all. Then he drizzled with real maple syrup, none of that maple flavor shit. She offered to help, but Nate would have none of it. He insisted that she stay in her seat. He poured her a cup of coffee, strong enough to wake the dead as always, and assured her that breakfast will be ready soon. He kept a lively commentary up as he was cooking, easily slipping back into her t-shirt. She nodded every now and then, content to listen. It was the same old Nate she knew from her cooking lessons. He was even dressed similarly in jeans and a t-shirt. She found it difficult to imagine that this was the same Nate who was with her last night, making her wonder if last night was all in her imagination. When he was done cooking, he laid the big platter of French toast in front of her. Instead of sitting across from her, he pulled a chair to her side. Try this, he said, spearing the food with his fork and bringing it to her lips. Good? He propped his chin on his hand as he was waiting for her reply, his face just inches from hers. Mm-hmm, was the most she could utter as her mouth was full. But that was enough to make a smile break out on his face. The way he was happily staring at her confirmed it. Last night, it happened.